Most people have had too much to drink at least once in their lives. In fact, it may take some people a while to learn not to overindulge. Unfortunately, people don't always recognize the danger of drinking alcohol or using drugs. They start out thinking that they are in complete control, only to find themselves ruled by the substances that they use. The term substance abuse can mean the overuse of alcohol, misuse of over-the-counter medications and prescription drugs, or use of illegal drugs. It can also involve huffing chemicals that produce noxious vapors, such as solvents, lighter fluid, and glue, or eating magic mushrooms and other toxic plants. Substances that produce a high affect how the central nervous system functions. Depressants such as alcohol, marijuana, and tranquilizers slow down brain activity. Stimulants including cocaine, crack, and methamphetamine speed it up. Narcotic analgesics such as heroin, morphine, and OxyContin numb the senses. And hallucinogens like LSD alter the way the brain processes information. Some drugs can affect users in multiple ways. Ecstasy, for instance, is both a stimulant and a hallucinogen. A substance abuser's personality and ability to function is directly affected by the drugs that they take. For instance, when someone is high on cocaine or other stimulants, they are often overconfident, hyperactive, even reckless. In the workplace, a person who has been using these substances has a significantly increased risk of having an accident because they tend to act impulsively and take chances that a normal person would not. On the other hand, alcohol, marijuana, and other depressants are dangerous because of their strong sedating effect. Even at low doses, depressants can severely impair a person's reaction time and make it difficult for them to think clearly. Since people frequently feel good when they are under the influence of drugs and alcohol, they often don't recognize that they are dangerous to themselves and others. And the residual effect of a substance can cause a person to have an accident hours or even days after they last used it. This makes substance abuse unique in terms of workplace safety, because what a substance abuser does on their own time can still affect them at work. When people think of substance abuse, they often picture an addict living on the street. But the fact is that most abusers have jobs and are frequently able to conceal their problem from their employers, co-workers, and even their families. Alcohol is by far the most commonly abused of all drugs. In the United States alone, there are over 50 million binge drinkers. Nearly half of all serious workplace accidents are caused by people drinking on the job. And 25,000 people die each year in alcohol-related vehicle crashes. Impairment starts with the first drink, and after only a few drinks, it's extremely unsafe to operate vehicles or machinery of any kind. A person who is drunk may act irrationally, have emotional outbursts, or even become violent. Although no one should be allowed behind the wheel while they are intoxicated, it may not be safe for you to try and get their keys. So notify your supervisor if a coworker who appears to be under the influence is attempting to drive. Call the police if you are not on the job. Marijuana is the most commonly used illegal drug and is second only to alcohol in its frequency of abuse. Like alcohol, marijuana is a depressant that impairs short-term memory, reduces the ability to concentrate, affects coordination, and slows reaction time, all of which make it unsafe for a user to be working. As with most illegal drugs, marijuana has a cumulative effect. Over time, heavy users develop a noticeable reduction in their ability to function safely. They also tend to lose ambition, suffer from paranoia, and develop negative personality traits that can hurt their chances for career advancement. People who smoke marijuana often drink alcohol to increase the high. When a person is doubly impaired, they are much more likely to be involved in an accident. Combining drugs can also lead to an overdose. For instance, consuming alcohol with strong depressants such as barbiturates and tranquilizers can be fatal. In the workplace, the most commonly overlooked depressants are the chemicals that you may use every day. Breathing in fumes from aerosol cans, glue, or gasoline can cause immediate, irreversible damage to your brain, lungs, and respiratory tract. You have to be especially careful when working around these substances because it can be easy to get hooked on the vapors and not even know it. Even when the negative effects of a substance are well known, some people are still drawn to them. Illegal stimulants such as cocaine, crack, a concentrated form of cocaine, and methamphetamine, and narcotic analgesics like heroin are all extremely addictive, dangerous drugs with terrible side effects. Crystal meth, methamphetamine for example, is made from highly toxic materials, including anhydrous ammonia, red phosphorus, and lithium from old batteries. This mixture is so powerful and corrosive that people who routinely smoke it have had their teeth disintegrate. Contrary to popular belief, most hard drug users manage to hold down jobs, and for a while they may even excel at them. For instance, someone who uses crystal meth may have a tremendous amount of energy that they put into their work, but they also lose the ability to think rationally and act safely. Illegal stimulants and narcotics can impair a person to such a degree that they become a walking time bomb. Unless they are able to clean up their act, they are likely to end up in jail, a mental institution, or an early grave. In recent years, it has become extremely popular to abuse prescription and over-the-counter medications on the job. Unfortunately, many people don't recognize the danger of getting high on these substances. They wrongly presume that, since it's a medicine, it must be fairly safe. But medication abuse can be just as addictive and even more deadly than using illegal drugs. In fact, with some pain relievers, only one pill can cause complete respiratory failure. Commonly abused prescription drugs include stimulants such as amphetamines and Ritalin, and narcotic analgesics such as OxyContin and medications containing codeine. Some people even use over-the-counter medicines, such as cough syrup containing dextromethorphan, DXM, to get high. One drug that is almost never used on the job is the powerful hallucinogen LSD. However, a person who has used LSD can be a serious workplace hazard, since they could have flashbacks at any time, even many years after they last took the drug. Substance abuse of any kind is dangerous. It can take away a person's job, savings, friends, family, put them in jail, destroy their health, cause severe mental problems, even kill them. Worst of all, what a substance abuser does while under the influence can endanger coworkers and anyone else that they come into contact with. The risks are obvious, yet intelligent people continually allow themselves to get hooked. But why? Few people set out to become substance abusers. Most alcoholics start as casual drinkers. Many hard drug users get hooked through experimentation. People who are addicted to medications may not consider themselves substance abusers because they don't drink alcohol or use illegal drugs. Stress, depression, anxiety, and personal tragedy can all drive a person to use drugs or alcohol to help them escape from their problems. Chronic physical pain and mental illness can also lead a person to self-medicate. People are particularly vulnerable to becoming substance abusers when they go through traumatic events in their lives. Deaths in the family, broken relationships, getting laid off, and serious financial difficulties are just a few of the things that can start a person drinking excessively or using drugs. It is absolutely critical that you don't use drugs or alcohol to help you deal with your problems. They aren't the solution. Drugs and alcohol will only make the situation worse, much worse.